Hello, everyone. I'm back again. Well, today I will have another special guest, one of the best R&B male singers, Zieme, is going to be on my show. Zieme. He is a singer. He sings with his uncles, one of the best R&B groups for his MDs. Stevie D. Lundy and Khalil Lundy. So their nephew Zayn is doing his thing. Um, he will be on here shortly. And I hope everybody had a good day. And make sure you hit subscribe. Subscribe, subscribe. Hello, everyone. I will start the show around 5 minutes. I mean, 3 minutes. 3 minutes because Zion um, is taking care of something personal. He's taking some. He has something personal happen, so he will be on shortly. Um, when you're an artist, you stay busy. So I'm working on you stay busy. You stay busy. You just have to be patient. Especially, I'm new at this. I'm learning to do podcasts. This is going to be my career. So it's all about patience. And yeah, I take my job really serious when I do podcasts. But Zion will be on here pretty soon. He will be on pretty soon. And he probably had a show tonight too. You never know. When you interview an artist, they stay busy, especially they can sing and they have good music, and he can sing. He can sing. So he will be on here 3 minutes. Hey, Zion, Nazim. Hello. Oh, not again. Oh, all right. Can you hear me? Hello. Hello.
And
Hello. Okay, I can hear you. So I said it right, Zion.
okay,
All right. All right. Well, hello, Zion. Welcome to Imani Dilla
right.
Show. Whoa, what happened? I don't. Wait a minute. I'll be right back, everybody. We having some technical problems, bad connection. We will be right back. Hello.
There we go.
Hey. Huh?
How you doing? Am
Good.
I
Good.
am I
Yours is
upside down or am I straight?
upside down.
That's how I
Keep
figure
going.
I'm
Okay.
okay.
You're good.
Let's
You
see.
good. You're good. I just told
This
everyone
is
that we
good.
having some bad connections.
Okay. I'm just trying to.
Yeah.
It's it's.
Can you hear me really well?
Um, I do.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes. I usually wear my Bluetooth headphones. I should have wear those, but it's okay. I'm good. So
I,
welcome to
I, I,
Imani. Huh?
no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. Well, welcome to the Imani Village show.
Thank-
I read your bio and I was like, man, I said everybody need to hear your story. So I'm most definitely gonna interview you, especially if you are an upcoming new artist and your Brother Love album. I love it. I love when you saying "Hey Love." I love all the songs. I was like, man, I
Are you
said
talking about the
finally
Butter Smooth?
somebody's bringing R&B love music back, and that's what we need.
You mean the
Yeah, I
Butter
love
Smooth?
your style of music. Mhm. Yeah. Well, today I want to talk about.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, okay. I just making
Can you
sure
hear
you can.
me?
Yeah, I hear you. Now I was just saying it's you talking about the Butter Smooth project, right?
Yeah, with Ice T.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I love
But
it.
Butter Love sound good too, though. I like that was
Oh
cool, man.
yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. I'll listen to all of them. Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I just want to talk about how was it growing up in Brooklyn, New York. I have family in New York, and how was it singing with your uncles, especially Stevie Dean Lundy. He's the longest member of Force MDs, and your uncle Khalil, he's a part of the group too. And I also want to talk
Hmm.
about the people that you look up to. Some of my favorite artists, the Temptations, the late Whitney Houston, the Jackson Five, the late Michael Jackson, and Genuine, the late Aaliyah. I want to talk about that too. But first, we can talk about you growing up in Brooklyn, New York, and your music career, and how was it singing with your uncles, Sports MDs, because like they're like one of the best groups in
Oh,
the R&B
thank you.
industry. Yeah. So go ahead.
Well, first and foremost, let me say thank you for having me on your platform.
It's my pleasure. Pleasure
Um,
all mine.
how was it growing up in Brooklyn? Oh man. Well, before I even ever started singing with my uncles, when it comes to Brooklyn stories,
Hmm.
I was a bad kid, man. I was
You was
outside.
what?
I was outside. I was definitely outside. Uh,
Outside.
yeah, for those who's from from the hood and certain places in New York and stuff. You know what I mean when I'm outside. We used to do crazy dumb stuff as kids, and being in Brooklyn, you see a lot, man. It's a lot of crime. It's also a lot of love. You know what I'm saying? Depending on where you
Hmm.
grow up, you know, um, a lot of the neighborhoods where I'm from, a lot of the communities, people allow the neighbors to whip your child's butt. I mean, I don't know if I can curse on here, but you know, the neighbor.
No, be yourself. I always tell my guests are be you.
Yeah, back in that time. I mean, it wasn't that long ago. I'm only 37, but
You're 37? I thought you was on your 20s. I'm sorry.
you know what? Most of the time, people say, "Hey, you can't. You got to do the industry age." I'm like, man, it ain't no time for that. We all getting, you know, as long as you take good care of yourself, you can never tell, right? So,
Hmm.
um, at the end of the day, yeah, Brooklyn was very, very interesting growing up as a kid, but also it taught me a lot. It taught me how to survive. It taught me how to be on point. It also taught me how to, just maneuver in the streets. And from Brooklyn, I lived in Harlem for a few years. I lived in Harlem for about 5, 6 years. That's actually where I started recording my first album in Harlem, which was called Scream My Name. That's my first album. Before the
Scream my
first
name. Okay.
albums, yeah, that's that. If you Google Zaim Scream My Name, you'll see a lot of that. It came out in about maybe I think 2008. I think
Okay. So who
2008.
produced your song?
So on that album, I had a few producers. One of the best producers I ever worked with, his name is Morpheus, Sean Waters. Um,
Oh, Sean Waters. Okay.
yeah, I worked with him a lot, even with recent projects. He's an amazing producer.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
there was another producer by the name of Hood Promo, um, another producer by the name of Jess, and Femi. And I got to give a shout out to my Uncle Khalil because my Uncle Khalil was actually a main pivotal part in my career because he took me and he's the one who groomed me to become an
Trained you,
he trained me.
took you on his ring. Yep.
right, and he taught me the ropes when it comes to the business part, and when it comes to choosing records, and when it comes to reading the crowd and break. I was a very shy person, very
Very
shy.
shy.
I was
Yeah.
so shy, and it was like scary shy, And at some point, I started to grow. I started to get mad at myself for being so shy that I would just kind of like find little techniques to get myself, you know,
Mhm.
shake it off, And
Mhm.
my whole family sings. So growing up, we used to do talent shows in the living room and little contest stuff. And from my sister, my cousins, my mother, my aunts, my uncles, all of us used to do our own talent shows, and that kind of helped a lot of my fear singing in front of people. And of course, going through the training and watching my uncles do what they do, and always wanting to be at that level. You know what I'm saying? It just definitely opened up a lot more inside me that I'm able to be thankful for today, for which I'm able to perform the way I do today. So now, just fast forwarding me, I mean, I don't want to jump too far, but yeah. So back then, that's really how my childhood was. I was, school. I was doing a lot of school shows. I was always lead roles. I had a lot of friends that I used to work with, where I used to help sing and produce. I would be producing in the back of the classroom, and just showing people. Dudes used to use me to sing to their girlfriends and stuff, and write letters and fake little
Oh
rhymes.
wow. So what school you went to?
So in
Graduated at?
Brooklyn, my elementary, I went to PS 152. That's like around the junction, Flatbush Junction, because I grew up in Flatbush.
Okay.
Um, then my junior high school, I went to Cunningham, IS
Okay.
234. And then from my junior high school, I went to my zone high school, which was Midwood High School. And I didn't finish Midwood High School because I was a knucklehead. I was hanging with the wrong people, so I wound up in Abraham Lincoln High School,
Okay. Abraham Lincoln. Okay.
at Coney Island. I used to be
Colin
in
Allen. Okay. It's Colin Allen.
Coney Island.
Coney Island. Colin.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
that's where
Coney.
the famous roller coasters and stuff like that, and the beach and everything. So yeah, Brooklyn was a beautiful time, man, and I love my city. I wouldn't. I don't know if I would live there now, but I love to go back. I love to go in my
And
neighborhood.
visit.
Yeah, I grew up right across the street from Brooklyn College, so
Okay.
that's my stomping grounds. Now I was born in Staten Island, so that's where I was born. I was raised in Brooklyn, but I was born in Staten Island, St. Vincent.
Okay.
Um, I was back and forth as a baby. I was in the Harbor or the New Brighton projects. I come from that. So it was back and forth like that, Staten Island and Brooklyn. But Brooklyn was mainly where most of my childhood was spent, and all my schools and all of my experiences. And then fast forward, we go to whatever question you have next is when it starts to go to the next
Okay.
phase of
Reading,
Zion.
reading your bio and when you was growing up, you really admired the Temptations, Whitney Houston, the late the Jackson Five, Michael Jackson, Junior Y, and Aaliyah. And I understand why you admire them, especially the ones who not living, the ones who are living. Um, Basically, I understand. I have an old soul too, like you. So, can
Yeah.
you explain to everybody on the show why you looked up to them while you was growing up, and your and of course MDs too? But
Man, it was interesting because Michael Jackson is like the biggest, so it's like
yes,
everything was
he
Michael
is.
Jackson. Yeah,
It's only one.
everything.
It will never be another Michael Jackson.
Never. I don't care how many
Never,
surgeries.
never. He was a special man. It's
Yes,
like dancing
yes.
like James Brown as a little boy. You like, come on
Yeah.
now.
And
That
that powerful voice as a little boy. It don't matter how many surgeries these people can do to be like him. It just will never be another Mike. Michael used to get me ass whippings. I used to get a lot of butt whippings, dancing and breaking VCRs and TVs and spinning and stuff, jumping on tape. Man, I tell you, my parents could tell you, like, boy, I couldn't. that movie, The Moonwalker, you know, and just watching him closely, learning his dance moves. I was definitely dancing a lot, you know, and besides Michael Jackson, I started to go get more into R&B stuff. But around that time, even besides Michael Jackson, I was a big fan of like Prince too, Prince. Um, Temptations definitely, because Temptations had this harmony thing, man. My grandmother and my aunt, they used to play a lot of Temptation Christmas records, and between the Temptations and the OJ's and Boys to Men, those Christmas records just lives with me forever. And anytime it gets close to that time of the year, it just makes me. It just reminds me of my childhood. You know those OJ songs, "Merry Christmas," all those stuff. Like it's just those are the type of records that used to make the home feel good. That's really why those records right there, those specific artists, it just has something to do with the soul. And then as I got more into my teens, early teens, I started getting really, really locked in with Usher. Usher was like a big
Oh
thing.
yeah, Usher, he's one of the best.
Yeah, Usher, and then of course when Usher was doing his thing, you had other guys that was like in that field, Genuine, the Cisco's, you know, and so I used to really kind of lock in with those because they kind of reminded me of myself, you know, with this the style and the fashion around that time, you know,
And you look
and
up to the right people too, because they well known. The ones who are not living, still living, they're the ones who's not living, they still left a great legacy. And the ones
yeah,
who's not here, and the ones are here,
still
they
doing it.
they still leaving a good legacy, and they
Yeah.
are well known in the music world.
Yeah, I mean, I used to, you know what I used to, this is crazy. I used to have the lamp, you know, the tall lamps and with the thing on it, the
Yeah.
take off. I used to take that off. I used to duct tape a microphone at the top of it. And when Usher
You had
came
your
out
own
with,
concert.
yeah, when Usher came out with Burn or You Got It Bad,
Oh yeah,
and he
burn.
was doing all those
I know what song
microphone
you talking
tricks.
about.
Oh my God, I used to mess shit up, you know, and you know, it's just that those were the good times, and those artists, like you said, they still leaving big marks, and I just look up to those guys, man. I never forget, you know, big shout out to the Avila brothers, from the West Coast. They produce a lot of Usher records and a lot, like you know,
What's
Money
their
Money.
names?
The Avila brothers,
Okay.
they actually got me a chance to meet Usher. You know, I went to Usher's video shoot, and you
Oh
know,
wow.
it was just really dope, man. He was a really dope,
How
cool.
is Usher like? In like, is he very down to
Very
earth?
humble. He was cool as stuff. He's, hey
Oh,
man,
okay, I can tell
look,
he's really down to
you
earth, laid
you know
back.
when somebody's cool when they come up to you. You don't even like. He came up to me and was like,
Wow.
"What's
And I
up,
can
bro?"
see him doing that.
Yeah, Usher's a really cool dude, man. So that was a great experience. You know, of course, I've been to Usher concerts as a young boy. You know, as well. Other artists, you know, I used to listen to a lot of female artists too. You know, like Aaliyah.
Aaliyah, yeah, the
I
late
loved
Aaliyah.
Aaliyah. Oh my God,
Yeah.
Aaliyah.
Her
She,
songs to this day, you still can play it. And it was
yes.
just, I believe if she was still living,
Oh, it'd be a problem.
she'd be on Beyonce's level. She'd be on every artist that we see, she'd be on their level,
A
selling
lot
out
of artists
shows.
get their style from her. You know, if it
Yeah.
wasn't for
Rock
her,
the Boat, when Rock the Boat
yeah.
came out, that was it. Her career just took over.
Oh my
And
God. And
she
you know,
was the princess R&B, and she was. And then bam, that happened.
hmm
That was sad.
yeah, that tour. So I went to her memorial too.
Oh, you
That
went
was
to her more? Oh yeah. That
yeah.
was, yeah, okay.
They had a it was really dope. It was like an indoor thing. It was candle lit and it was just really beautiful. It was a sad day, you know. But you know, I gotta give it to you know. I also can't, even though he's got this bad name right now, but it's just you can't deny his talent and what he's contributed to the culture. R. Kelly is responsible for a lot of great artistry and great music
I will
and
always listen to his music. Always.
yes, R. Kelly inspired me as a writer, as a producer, you know, and I
So
think
you met R. Kelly.
I've met R. Kelly. He was
Why? What year
very
you met
cool.
him?
Man, this was around the time I actually was recording my first album. This was probably around maybe 2008, 2000, yeah, about maybe 2007, 2008. I met him.
Oh,
The same time I met him, it was my first time meeting Keisha Cole. She was just coming out.
Keisha Cole. Okay, what
Yeah.
song did R. Kelly wrote for you?
No, he didn't write a song for me, but he just inspired me as a writer.
Inspire you, or he trained
Yeah.
you to be a writer, like he
He
taught because he
just
could write his butt off. And one thing
yes,
about it, you guys would never take that talented. I mean, take that talent that he had for the music industry because he wrote so many songs for different artists.
very
And
talented, bro.
some people are trying to block his music, but it'd be hard to. It would be hard to block his music
Hey,
because
look,
all that catalog, he have a huge catalog. He left um it's
super.
like he's like one of the best
It's like
songwriters,
who could we put
producers,
up who
singers.
could we put up against him as a writer,
Man.
hit songs. It's like it's very tough. It's a very
Hmm.
tough one. So yeah, R. Kelly definitely inspired me as a writer and producer. Other than that, being around my uncles, they definitely inspired me as entertainers. And our whole family is just characters. We got a bunch of characters. We it's a comedy, and we do imitations and stuff, and just being around that energy, you
Hmm.
know, and it just inspired me to be customer service driven. You know what I'm saying? And when I say customer service, I don't mean just as like how they doing a job. Customer service is just providing customers and fans what they want. They want good music, they want good product, they want quality, and that's what they was given, and that just groomed me into becoming an artist, so
And then I see you guys got your new yeah, two new singles out. Three Good Lovers and
hmm
is it I'm Gonna Tell Her?
yeah, we got I'm gonna tell her was see actually, a lot of people that don't know the foursome D's. The foursome D's is the originators. They're actually the pioneers of combining hip hop and R&B together.
Yes. They was the new addition in their generation.
Yeah, actually, they used to tour with New Edition, and
Yeah.
I don't want to sound crazy just because it's family. New Edition can tell you this themselves. They said this in interviews. The Foursome D's used to give them problems on their tours, and it's to the point where a lot of funny stuff used to happen just to get them off the stage because these guys, Foursome D's was doing Michael Jackson. They was doing
I
flips.
mean, they was the best. First MDs was they put R&B on the map. Tender
They
Love, Love is a House, Here I Go Again,
yeah,
and your uncle, um, how he was I mean, he was like the Michael Jackson in the group. Like he
yeah,
had
Jesse.
that strong soprano high voice,
Yeah,
and
TC too. TC was the lead singer, and Jesse
oh
was
yeah,
the second singer, and Stevie D, my uncle Stevie D, he was in two groups. He was a Foursome C's, and
yes, Force MC with the Fat Boys.
the Foursome C's they used to be, yeah, they had the battle with the Fat Boys. Foursome C's was Stevie D, Mercury, DJ Dr. Rock, and Lord K1. Lord K1
Yeah.
is Mercury's our other cousin, and Dr. Rock was a friend of the family. But you know being coming from that background and you know just having that in your blood, it just shows that you come from the beginning of what this I come from the beginning of this. Like my uncles, they was known as doo-wop hip hop. Nobody ever heard of that. Guys harmonizing and rapping and singing, and they was just like, yo, these dudes is doing everything. Like beatboxing. Jesse was the first person to do beatboxing and stuff. So it was like, I can't wait till a movie is being written. You know what I'm saying?
I
Once a,
was gonna say that when your uncles is going to write a movie,
they look,
I would love to see a full. I would love to see a documentary and also putting a movie together.
yeah,
It's like my generation. I can say my age group. They're. I mean, the ones that I know around here, they're not into. Well, they are, but they're not into.
good,
Yeah, good music that we grew up listening to.
right.
Yeah, I think you went out. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Wait,
I
let me
mean,
go.
they listen to R&B, but they're not into it like us,
And we
And
to
like,
the day.
if I can tell them, like, I say, you guys have heard about Force MDs? They'd be like, what was that? And I was like, your parents didn't tell you about Force MDs? Come on now.
Yeah,
But
you got to
I
think.
mean, I believe if they do a movie, that would be awesome. Because when I
You
was
got.
watching Unsung, I was
Mhm.
like, they should put a movie together.
Oh yeah. Listen. We're speaking it into the
And I
universe.
will be the writer. I don't mind helping them out.
Let's speak it into the universe. We hope Tyler Perry or somebody can see this podcast, this interview, and
Hmm. Oh,
you
and
know.
don't forget your homeboy, Michael D. Lee.
Okay, Mike. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
Michael D. Lee, New Yorker.
Yeah.
New
And,
York. Spike
like,
Lee, New
yeah.
York.
Like, and,
Yeah,
hey.
Tyler Perry, he's good too. But Michael D. Lee, that's the New Yorker man.
Yeah, like honestly, to be honest, there's a lot of dope new directors and writers, and it's a lot of people out there that can write the story. The question is, will they be able to, are they going to reach out? Are they going to take the time to, what I'm saying?
Learn the story.
Yeah, and there's
And
doc
tell the truth too. Don't just put things out there,
right,
because every time you watch some of these movies, you don't know if it's true, you don't know it's false, and you find out it was false, and you're like, why you didn't talk to the families, the friends,
right.
the producers, who
That's
wrote their songs, why you didn't talk to them? You just wrote a movie and then bam,
yeah,
it's like,
stuff.
yeah, like when you write a movie, you have to make sure you talk to the
The real
ones
people.
who knew the person really, really well.
Yeah, yeah. Some
Yeah.
some people they do it for they're thinking about the money, or they're just some people are hiding things that they don't want really to be talked about. Then you have
Hmm.
people that just they just don't a lot of people don't care. They just do it and see what happens. At the end of the day, there's a lot of documentaries out there on the Force MDs. We have like the Force Relives. They have
Send them to me. I didn't know it was more documentaries.
yeah, they have a few
Yeah,
documentaries out.
send it to me because I watched the Unsung. That's the only thing I watched.
Yeah,
Unsung.
and you know what? That's probably the most broadest one because Song, you got TV One. That's like a big station that
Oh yeah, Kathy Hughes.
you know.
Yes.
The documentaries that I'm talking about was self-made. Khalil and a couple of other people on the team. These were documentaries that was made before a lot of the members had passed. TC and Mercury died years ago, 98, 97. But when Jesse was here, Trisco
You knew
was.
them really well. Your uncles who passed away.
Oh yeah, definitely,
Okay,
definitely.
that's good.
I'm so blessed to even have the chance to perform with my uncles, Jesse before he passed, and Trisco. I never got a chance to perform with Uncle TC, but being a kid around Uncle
His
TC,
spirit is still there.
spirit is still there, and my Uncle TC was a character, man. He used to do so much cool things. He can draw, he can imitate people, he just had a lot of magic with him, and that's why energy was so dope. And him being a lead vocalist in the group, he never even tried to like be that guy where he wants to be the takeover or anything. He was open to having everybody just do their part, but it was just that silky voice he had. It just had to
Oh,
be
his voice was amazing.
but
He
yeah,
had
man.
his own. He had his own. He had his own sound, and it sounded awesome.
He
Like,
had his own
let me.
identity,
Yeah,
and it was amazing.
yeah. So I see that you same background with Chris Brown, Key Sweat, Boys to Men, and Neo. How was that? And how did you get the opportunity to travel with them?
So I did not sing background for those guys, but I don't know who wrote that. Uh, what I
Oh, I
did,
think I read it wrong. I'm sorry.
it's okay. No, I've opened up for those people. I've
Oh, you
opened
opened up for them. Okay.
for like Neo, Chris Brown, the Bow Wows. A lot. Man, the list goes on from the Keith Sweats, the Jagged Edge, the Oh man, it's a few. Sammy. These are guys like when they was in when they was in like in the early stages. I was about 17.
You
These
was
were
17 years old opening shows for them. Wow, that's awesome.
actually in the Paradise Theater in the Bronx. Um,
Mm-hmm.
that was a big like spot where a lot of shows was being thrown on Grand Concourse, and that's actually where I met a gentleman by the name of Mickey Benson, who um, who also played a major part later on in my career, connecting me with Ice T. So yeah, those were early things. I've opened up. I never sung background. I've never got a chance to do collaborations with those guys. I've met Neo a couple of times. We've talked about doing some type of collaborations. But people got busy lives. They got other things they're doing. So hopefully, in the future, we can cross paths again and really have a sit down, or someone that's connected with us can make it happen. But other than that,
Okay, I'm
that's
gonna say it the right way. He did not sing background with Chris Brown or Keith Sweat or Boyz II Men or Neo. He just opened shows for them,
right.
while they was, on tour. So he was like the guest. Zion was the guest singer. So yeah,
Right.
yep, yep, yes. So how was it doing that? Like how was Chris
Man,
Brown, Keith Sweat, Boyz II Men, Neo?
man, I remember it's on. I think it's still on YouTube. This was a show
It's on
that
YouTube. Okay,
you don't really
go look it
see.
up on YouTube.
Yeah, it's not. You're not gonna see them on the stage with me. These were like clips that people put together that they caught me. Nobody knew who I was. I was just this young guy that came out. The swag was on point. The ladies were screaming. They didn't know who the hell I was. And it made people like Neo and Bow Wow and I'm like, who the fuck is that?
And I know
Like,
you felt good, like, dang, they screaming my name, they screaming at me.
felt real
What
good.
song did you sing? What was the name of the song you sang
This
at the
was
concert?
this was around when my first album, Scream My Name, was. So I used to open up with the R. Kelly, um, Bump and Grind. The My Mind Let Me Know, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then
My mind's telling me no.
then then when I would open up with that, then I would come in with an original record called Too Soon. Too Soon was one of the records on Scream My Name, and then In Public, that's another record on Scream My Name. A lot of ladies love that record, and yeah, and it always worked. It always worked, and so like I said, these guys didn't know who I was, and I'm pretty sure they would never even remember that. You know what I'm saying? Through all of the shows they've gotten and how big they've gotten from them, but at the end of the day, it was an experience for me. It's in my resume now. So and I'm just happy. It was a great time. It was a great experience seeing these guys on TV and being able to actually open up for them, and it just made me feel like I was getting closer to where I wanted to go and where I wanted to be.
Okay. So how did you meet Ice T?
So Ice T, like I said, with my uncle Khalil, who's been a very very instrumental in
And I
my.
can tell you look up to Ice T.
Yeah, Ice is like. See, back even when I was young, from New Jack City to the Colors to him being a very advocate in the streets and the OG style and the pimp. What I mean, it was just like Ice was just one of those guys everybody looked up to. Like, yo, he's one of the realest, right? But as I got older and actually got a chance to meet him, um, and that wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for my uncle Khalil working with me and tying me in with Mickey Benson. And Mickey Benson, who's a hip hop historian who's been working, he's managed Big Pun, Fat Joe. He
Wow,
worked,
I saw that.
yeah,
Yeah.
he worked with a lot of hip hop guys. He was one of those guys where he was heavy in the hip hop world. You had to go see Mickey Benson to really kind of like get past a lot of shit. But if it wasn't for them guys, I would never even got a chance to meet Ice T. And Ice, he came to a studio session one day in New Jersey when I was recording with a producer. Mickey Benson brought him in there, and he heard me doing this track with my cousin TC. And I was in a group around that time, a group
Oh,
called,
your cousins. So your uncle, your late, so the late Antonio have a son named.
yeah. So my uncle TC has kids too that sing as well. He has TC
Okay,
Junior.
what's their names?
You have TC Junior. You have Tasia. You have Tanero. You have Soraya.
Okay,
He has a lot of other kids. Kush Lundy. He
okay,
Uncle TC got a tribe. EB, Kaisha. All of his kids sing, or if they don't sing, they rap or they do something else. But everybody's talented, from TC's kids to Stevie D's kids. My Uncle Steve, his daughters sing. Shanita, Zanaya. His son Josh, he raps, he does Spanish and all that. So
okay.
every every member of the group has a tribe of children that has talent. It's
Are you
scary.
guys planning to have a group together, or are you just gonna like,
So
um?
around that time, I was in a group. We called ourselves 5L. It was me, TC, Jesse's son, uh, Stevie D's son, Josh, and TC's other son, Kush. So it was called 5L. And
What that stands
we,
for? Five. You said 5L.
yeah, 5L. We actually, so we was groomed in Harlem. We basically, our thing started in Harlem. So how it started was I was on my solo, and I was going from record company to record company trying to get a deal. I was making a name for myself in the streets, and the timing was kind of off because now they was looking for groups. And around that time, you had the Brothers, you had Day 26 coming out, you had all of these groups coming in. And so I've had a meeting with a guy by the name of Chad Elliott in Sony Records. And what he said was, hey, yo, dude is dope, man. Yo, but right now we looking at groups. Everybody's doing groups. You could find four dudes that look like him, sound like him. You might have something. And so my uncle looked at me, Uncle Khalil, and he said, yo, man, it's up to you. What you want to do? Like, yo, you wanna say F it and just keep it moving, or we can go grab some family, and boom, boom, boom. I said, you know what? If this is how it's gonna be, why not? The family sing. Let's put it together. This can be a nice little experience. We can hop in
Family
there, have a
business.
family business. You know what I'm saying? So that's how the group thing started to form in. We went and got TC. TC was in another group with Kango Kid's sons. Kango Kid the rapper, Roxanne.
Yeah.
So TC was singing with his sons. They were called Plan B. That group, they was kind of starting to go their way, and it just so happened that I called TC and said, "Hey, I may have this deal coming. They looking for a group. Why not? Let's just form this group. I want to put y'all along with me, and let's just go in there and knock it out." So TC was down with it. Kush was down with it. Um, Josh Josh actually came out of nowhere from Puerto Rico. My uncle didn't know he had a son in Puerto Rico, Stevie D. And so when we met Josh, we said, "Oh shit, you look just like Steve! Like what the hell?" So that
So
came right
how
on time.
so how Stevie D and Kalu's your
So
uncles?
so
That's your
Steve, Khalil, and TC are brothers.
okay. So how so
Those
that's your
those are my
uncle.
those are my mother's brothers. So my mother's
Oh,
their baby sister.
okay,
Okay, so it's TC, Khalil, Steve, my mother, Gwen, which is my mother's sister,
okay,
and Melvin. Melvin's the youngest boy. So there's five of them,
okay.
and that's why the whole family sings. Cause the whole all of them sing, brothers and
And
sisters.
that's awesome that you're singing with your uncles and you're the next generation. That's awesome. Some people don't do that; they want to do their own thing, but
Yeah.
you are helping
Well,
your
I'm doing. I'm
uncles
still
keeping the
doing.
legacy alive.
I'm still doing my solo as well. But like you said, keeping the legacy alive. They
That's
they
awesome.
one day they came to me. They said, "Z, this is when after Trisco passed. They had different members coming in and out, and I was still doing my solo thing, and they asked me, hey, yo, you can still do your solo, but if you want to do some shows with us and just make some, work for hire, make some money, sing with your uncles, you know what I mean? Just, I was like, hey, why not? Shit, let's family business, let's do it. If I could still do my solo and be a part of a legacy like this would be dope. And so that's what's happening now. To bring it to current, I'm still
So
doing
how
my
is
solo.
it traveling the world, meeting new people, and selling out concerts?
Oh, it's
How
awesome.
was the atmosphere?
It's amazing. I'm still high off of all of it. After, well, let me just say, me and Ice T, we created a dope project called Butter Smooth, and
Yes, butter
everybody
smooth.
everybody
Yes.
watching, go check that out. It's on
Oh
YouTube.
yes.
It's
Y'all need to
available.
look that up. Butter. I mean, download butter. I mean, butter smooth. It's on
Yeah, it's
YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music.
everywhere, everywhere, and you can go to ZiemeMusic.com.
Okay.
Have all of that on there as well.
Hmm.
And basically how that happened too was Ice came to me and said, "Yo, I've been knowing Ice for about maybe like now probably about 14, 15 years, maybe about maybe 14 years." And
Okay.
so before we even recorded anything, we was just building our relationship. We never talked music or nothing. I would just go to his house, chill with his family. We'd go eat and just chill as homies. You know what I'm saying? The big homie, the OG. I was the protege. Just building. And one day he said, "Yo, let's do a off project." With you doing like 13 classic songs that I used to do my little pimping to and shit, songs that I used to just like to rock out to and shit. He was like, these are OG songs, from Delphonics, the Whispers, the Sade, the old, stuff like that. Keep Sweat, you know what I'm saying? And
And I
he,
love how you created your own sound. You created your own lyrics. You did awesome
yeah, and
with
what
the
we
song.
did was we didn't want to take away the essence of the project.
Right.
So we
Right.
kept everything original, but we also put my own flavor on it.
Your own flavor. Yes.
And how we was
And you
able to
created
call
a
it Butter
great and you
Smooth.
created a new sound for the next generation and you did your thing. Yeah.
Right. Well, that's basically what's happening now. You got guys like October London. You have,
Yes. I
you
would
know,
love to see y'all on tour
well,
together.
I'm actually just put that in the air. That I posted something today. Somebody made a flyer and they said, you should make this happen. And I
I
posted it.
saw that. I thought it
Yeah, I
was
was like, yo,
at first I looked at it, I was like, oh my gosh, yes. And then you said it was fake.
yeah, it's basically bait. We trying to see how many people will really bait on it, and it'll be dope. I was telling myself that'll be dope. Snoop Dogg bring out October, Ice T bring me out. We do like a little R&B crooner type thing. Take it back to the old days when they used to have the
Yes.
artists
Bring
to
R&B
sing to the
lovers
ladies.
back. Yes.
Yeah, and so that's with that. So while that was going on, like I said, I started touring with my uncles. We've been That's been a very great experience. I'm still learning as I'm performing with them. I'm learning. I'm getting more comfortable on the stage, and just helping with writing and producing and with the show. It's also bringing out more creativity that I never knew I really could put out. And so when it comes to my solo stuff, I'm even like all the way there. And of course I got OGs behind me to help me with things and give me tips and stuff to make sure it becomes the best. And so
Yeah.
right now with the Force, we starting to tap into the Southern Soul world.
Okay.
And those two songs that you was talking about, I'm Gonna Tell Her and Three Good Lovers,
Your
those
uncle
are,
sent me when I was on Instagram. Your uncle was sending me Stevie D, like he was sending me videos and
yeah,
sending me. He sent me two videos, and I was like, "Oh wow, that's sweet." And I was like,
yeah,
"Okay."
we
And I
have the
said,
two
"The more
Southern
he sent
Soul.
that to me, I'm gonna share it." Yeah, I appreciate him doing that. Tell him I appreciate that. I really do.
Absolutely. We appreciate you too for what you're doing. And the good thing about this is, with the Southern Soul, it's a market that a lot of people is not even like
I guess
it,
what is this? What is again?
Southern Soul. So basically
Southern
it's
Soul. Okay.
Southern, yes, Southern Soul, Southern Soul. So it's like just take blues and jazz and soul R&B and mush it together. and
Combine it okay.
just combine it together, and
Combine it, okay.
you got that, and also, you could probably throw a little country in
Oh
there
yeah,
because
add
it
some
has
country
that
into
vibe.
it.
Yeah, definitely have a country vibe to it, and it's a big market that a lot of people is not tapping on. A lot of artists may be missing out on. It's a big market because you got artists like what's his name, King George, King Louis, Pokey Bear. You got it's a lot of Southern Soul artists that's selling arenas out, and for us to tap into that market coming from the R&B hip hop world, MDs stand for musical diversity. So we're basically showing the world that the Force MDs is not just R&B hip hop. We tapping into soul and
They do it
country.
all.
We do it
Yeah.
all. And just so happened that those two records went number one on the Southern Soul charts, the blues charts, and the urban Southern Soul urban charts. And that's the beginning of that journey, the Southern Soul journey. And right now we have a new record that's about to drop called "Anytime Is the Right Time," and that's
Okay.
produced by King
Keep me in
George,
touch. Keep me in
producer.
touch. I
Yeah,
can share on my social media pages.
yeah, of
Yeah.
course, definitely. And that right there is going to be amazing because it's one of those records.
It's going to be
It's
released this year or next year.
I want to say it may be released the beginning of next year. It may
Next
be
year.
at the top of
Okay.
the year. It may be released on that one because that one right there is going to be a big one too. And we just going for those number one spots. We're trying to keep it consistent. We are going to keep it consistent. We are going to make sure the world knows the Force MD story, and we're going to know who Zaim is. We're going to make sure they say the
Oh
name right.
yeah. Are you planning on are you guys are you planning on being on tour, cuz I know you guys just do a lot of shows and stuff. Are you guys planning on being on tour?
Yeah, we're working on a tour right now as we speak.
Okay.
We have guys, our friends like Troop, Melissa Morgan, Christopher Williams.
Ooh,
Uh,
Christopher Williams
man, yeah,
dreaming.
we have a few people that we've toured already with.
One day I'm gonna see y'all perform. One next year. I'm planning on next year.
Hey, listen, listen. Where you at? Where you based at?
I live in Lima, Ohio.
Ohio. We did
Yeah.
some shows in Ohio. We actually did a show in Ohio. I forgot what part though. Twice. We performed in Ohio twice, I believe.
Okay.
Y'all got some good food out there too. Certain spots.
Well, my family's from the South, Alabama, Atlanta,
Okay.
and
Yeah, we got a
so
lot.
they moved here around the 50s. It was different, but I'm trying to move to Alabama as well next year. So
Really?
where are my roots?
Yeah.
Yeah, Alabama. I love the South. Yeah.
Yeah. We actually did a lot of shows in Alabama. We got one coming up actually on November 10th. We'll be in South Carolina.
I
Um,
saw that. Okay.
yeah, we're doing something for the veterans. We book a lot of our shows too. We got a lot of shows that we booked. We
Oh,
got
you guys do your own thing. Y'all book your own shows.
yeah, yeah. You can't wait on nobody. You know what I'm saying? Even though promote, we got some shows locked in for next year with some other promoters. We may be doing something with Keep Sweat doing
Because
a tour.
nowadays you can't, when you hire somebody and you tell them the business and you train them, and then all of a sudden you're like, why they're not communicating? Why they haven't booked any shows? Why they're not
Right,
showing up and helping us? Yeah,
right.
yeah. I want to ask you this. Like, oh, oops. I don't know what happened. Oops. I don't know what happened, but I want to ask you this question. I usually have my notes with me, but if an artist came up to you and tell you um, how to deal with contracts, managers, personal assistants, lawyers, and how to deal with that, how to manage your money? Yeah, how will you reply that?
Well, there's a difference between music and business, and
Mm-hmm.
they put it together and they call it music business. And a lot of artists don't want to deal with business. A lot of artists just want to do the creative part and let someone else handle the business part. But if you're an artist that wants to know what your money is doing, you want to know that you're not getting jerked. You want to know, who's really in your corner. Um, you have to, number one, have a real loyal, trustworthy team. A team
Mm-hmm.
is so important, because you can't do it by yourself. And if you can do it by yourself, kudos to you, but you just better be on point with everything, because it's more than just, a contract or anything. You gotta guide other people to make sure your business is running right. So
Right.
so having a team is very important, and having a reliable, quality, trustworthy team is number one. Number two, if you really want to understand contracts on your own, of course, with you have the team, and in part of that team, you should have a lawyer. You know, but if you really want to be locked in, there's so much tools out here where you could just AI and Google and YouTube. Like, don't be
Yeah.
lazy. Do the research, and and
Mm-hmm.
and a lot
Or
of these, a
talk to
lot of
somebody been doing this for a long time.
yeah, yeah. Listen,
Yeah.
knowledge is power, man, and a
And the
lot
reason
of
why I brought that up because it's okay to talk about concerts. It's okay to talk about the music,
mhm,
but the business matters. You
yeah.
know, all the
If you
things that
want to
I
be
named that matter: managers, personal assistant,
look the overview with that.
lawyers, producers, because record companies that matters because you have some artists they travel the world and then all of a sudden they broke. You're like, you have some artists die broke. You have some artists to this day trying to fight their music, trying to let everybody know those are my songs. They
Yeah.
stole from me. You know, that's very important in show business. You have to do your homework.
Listen, we in the age now where there's so much information, man, and
It's a lot of
right
information out
now you got to understand, as an artist, you're not just an artist, you're an entity. You're your own record label.
there.
So that means having a production company, having a publishing company, having accounts separated, so you know that your funds is going in the right accounts for your royalties, having ASCAP, BMI, having those set up, having mentors. Mentors is very important. Especially if you want to be a long running artist, someone that's like a Ice T, the Force MDs, people like those that still have a long lasting career from just music. They have people in their team that knows how to run business, and they're also hands on with it. My uncle Khalil is a businessman before anything, and that groomed me into really understanding, like, yo, see, you can't be in the clouds just writing songs about everything and skipping into the
You have
la
to
la.
learn the business.
You got to make sure you getting paid for what you do,
Yeah.
and you got to make sure that your work is your assets. It's like a house that you built from the ground up, and when you're ready to move out and you're trying to rent it out, you got to make sure that you rent it out to quality people and they pay on time. And you know that that house is forever going to be on that land, especially if you were smart enough to buy the land. So that's the whole thing. Like, your work is your baby. And when you create that work, you have to protect it for life. And how do you protect that for life? You put certain insurances on it. You put certain things on it that make sure that nobody can take it. Nobody can duplicate it. Nobody can alter it or anything. Because you see, if anybody try to sample one of these old school artist records, they quickly will get checked. They got to check in, like how they do in West Coast. You got to check in. You want to use my record, you got to check in because my record is licensed. My record is this. They lined it up from day one. So all the artists that's up and coming right now, the money will get you so dizzy right now. Everybody's dangling stuff. Don't get caught up by the shiny object syndrome. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to get caught up with that. What you want to do is you want to, what they say when like a problem occurs, you want to stay as calm as possible so you can really see clearly what's happening. You got to really see what's happening. Everybody is getting dangled because they want to be a quick success. They want to, and a lot of record labels right now is feeling it right now because they jumped on all of the microwave artists, and now those microwave artists can't make hits, and now they're trying to find the real artist now. But the real artist is already caught on and said, "I'm not signing with you because I already got a fan base that fuck with me. I don't need to have your contracts or whatever it is you offer. Now we can partner." That's why Nipsey Hussle was so dope. We can partner so that way I'm still owning my shit. Cause now a lot of the artists, you gotta understand, you have to learn from other people's mistakes. And if you
Hmm.
watch all the artists that got jerked, TLCs and
Oh, TLC,
come on, so
New
many, so
Edition,
Awesome
um,
D's,
Horse and
everybody,
D's. Yeah,
everybody got jerked.
yeah, because you can sign a $10 million contract and you find out it wasn't a real contract, and you're like,
Right.
oh my gosh,
But how did
and
the
the
thing is,
money is theirs.
you gotta ask, how did that happen? How could they let that happen? Well,
Because if you can't read a contract, that means you shouldn't sign it, because they will
yeah,
trick you not to understand um what you're reading, because they feel like we're gonna just gonna put words out there so they won't understand what
yeah,
they're reading, and we're just gonna let them sign it, and then when they sign it, the money is ours, and
yeah.
we tell them just travel. And the part gets me is they take your money and buy cars and houses, and you're like, I didn't want, why you I didn't ask you for a house, I didn't ask you to use my money to buy me a
Mm-hmm.
car, buy me a house,
Right.
and I lost all that money and made y'all rich. It's like,
It's called
who does
tricking.
that? You take somebody's money and spend it?
It's
That
called
was, and
tricking.
you,
What the
it's
pimps
like,
do to
yeah,
the
some of
joints.
these
They
record
trick.
companies, they need to be exposed because how they treated their artists. Like, I could not see myself taking somebody's money and buy them stuff, and they don't have a clue that I'm doing it. And they look,
Mhm.
and then they look at their check. They like, I didn't spend all that money, you know.
And then what happens? What end up happening is you owe them. You know. See what put
And
them in
that's
that
the crazy
position.
part. If I owe you, how I'm going to pay it? Because you spend
Right.
my money.
They give you a lot of money that you know you can't pay back, and then and they buy things with your money, because when you run out of that money you got to come back to them to get more money. And if you get more money from them, that means you owe more, and the more money you owe, you're going to be in debt forever. So
And
how do they do
yeah,
that? They collect your,
bankruptcy. Hmm.
they they keep your assets, so that way they own you. They own you. So your masters are so important, because if you don't own your masters, that's why you hear a lot of people say, "I own my masters today." Certain people, is because it took a lot to get to that. People couldn't even own their masters, and at the end of the day, what gets them in that position is desperate. If you're
Hmm.
so desperate to get on, if you're so desperate to be in the light, you're so desperate to be a superstar, and you
I'm
don't,
paying this.
yeah, you just don't care. You don't care about
The
longevity.
money. How you gonna pay your bills? How you gonna pay? You have to pay your bills. I mean,
Listen,
yeah, I'm
if you
glad
into
you
music,
said that.
yeah, listen. You do music because you love it, but be smart about it. You got to protect it at the end of the day.
You have to be. That's why I love the late Joe Jackson, because he didn't trust nobody with his sons,
Right.
and he didn't sign no contracts. He didn't understand it. He had great people around him, and I know his sons are happy that their dad was really hard on the
Mm-hmm.
people that it was working with, because they could have robbed them, but Joe Jackson wasn't having it. And when I was watching Unsung, of course, MDs, your grandpa, he didn't play at all. He
Not
didn't,
playing.
because he was like, this contract, he was like, that was the worst contract ever. See, some people, your grandpa was blessed, Joe Jackson was blessed, because some people, they fall for it,
They
and
fall
they
for
just
it.
signed that contract, and all the songs, all that traveling, all the songs people wrote, they don't
Hmm.
own them songs. I mean, they do, they own half of it, and that's sad, you know.
Only thing they own is for them to say they did it,
But
because they.
Zaim, you are blessed to have good people around you too.
I
And
am,
I
and I
believe
thank
that you
God.
have people who's going to have your back. They're going to tell you the truth. And sometimes you don't want to hear it, but you feel like they telling the truth.
Yeah. Hey, look, can't trust
Yeah.
nobody in the game,
Yeah. So
man.
what is the next so are you planning on being an actor? I saw that on your Instagram.
Yes, that's one of my. That's my
I can
second.
see you doing that. Uh-huh.
That's my second
Michael
passion, man.
D.
I love
Lee,
acting.
where are you?
Yeah. Hey, look, any directors, I'm ready to
Spike
audition.
Lee.
Man. I can play all characters. I can play a young. If I could just shave this off and be 20 years younger. It ain't nothing. Like,
I'm telling you, I thought she was like 28, 29. I thought you was on your 20s or 30s. Yeah, on your 20s.
well, thank you
Wow.
for that.
Especially when you don't have no hat on. I was like, yeah, he looks very young. Look like, yeah.
Thank you very much. I'm trying to keep it that way. And hey, man, like I said, that's my second passion. I love acting. Me and my sister, we was doing monologues a few months ago. My sister's a dope artist as well, and actor. She don't really sing as much as she used to, which I hate. I'm mad that she don't, cause her voice is beautiful.
You better
But
tell her she better sing. She has a
my
gift.
sister's a hustler. She's like, man, that singing ain't putting no money in it, paying no bills right now. I gotta go get it. She got like 5 jobs. Like, she ain't playing.
Oh, she got 5 jobs. Well, she's a busy
Yeah,
woman. What's your
yeah, she
sister's
ain't
name?
playing. Shanavia.
Shanavia. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, she's
Well,
dope. She's
music comes in. I mean, you was born into the music industry, so music runs in your DNA. So yeah.
Yeah, and we all trying to tap in, man. So acting, I'm definitely, if any directors, any filmmakers out there, I'm definitely open for some auditions. Some readings. I'm just trying to tap in with that. Ice was like, "Yo, you gotta get your feet wet." You know what I'm saying? Get your feet wet. Do a couple of backgrounds. You know what I'm saying? And so the goal would be, get that SAG, man, that SAG. Once you get that, you get more speaking roles or opportunity to get in bigger films, and so that's my goal. I think I need like three referrals for the SAG, and yeah, man, that's the next level. You might see me on that little SWAT show with Shamar Moore. My grandmother keeps saying, "You look like Shamar Moore." Oh, Lord, Grandma, come
Yeah.
on.
Yeah,
But
we
yeah,
see you on TV, being an actor, and it doesn't matter what movie, you're gonna do great on it. And you're
thank
gonna be on Soul Train one day. You're gonna be on Urban Honors one day. So yeah, I'm gonna be looking up like there he is, Zayn.
you. Speak that
Well,
in
thank you.
existence.
Yeah, well, thank you for coming on the Monty Dillis show. And let's keep in touch. Yes.
Yes, yes. Let me know if you need a drop or anything, and I'll send you some new music as well. That's releasing.
Hmm. Do you have a team together?
Which one?
A team, like, do you have a team, like people like work for you?
Oh, for my solo or for
Yeah,
some.
you're solo in the group.
The group has a nice team. I have a team as well. I'm still building my team, but I have key players that's consulting me. So I have like that my OGs that's consulting me, but I'm still trying to build a loyal team that can help out with promotion and bookings and stuff like that. And so it takes a while. That's the longest part of building a business is getting the right team. You know what I mean? So I'm looking for more people that may want to jump in. I'm looking for videographers, photographers. I'm looking for songwriters as well. I can't write all the songs. You know,
You're looking
yeah,
for like a publicist, personal assistant with
PR,
your
yeah,
shows and
assistant,
stuff. Okay.
yeah,
Well, if
absolutely,
you guys are out there, contact Zaim on Instagram and
yeah.
Facebook.
Official Zaim, and the
The
website is
dream.
Zaim Music. Yes, ZaimMusic.com.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I'm gonna be directing a lot of people to support me with if they want to buy merch or music. I'm doing mostly everything from the website, And I think a lot of artists is starting to go into that direction because they know that you need your own platform so you can keep as much as your rights as possible. So
Hmm.
everybody listening that's tuning into the Imani Dilla show, you can find me at ZaimMusic.com, social media,
Yes.
official Zaim. Follow Imani Dilla's show. We locked in, and
And
I
subscribe
appreciate.
us.
Yeah,
Subscribe
subscribe today, not tomorrow, not next week.
today. And show our
Today.
video. Show your video on social media. I'm gonna show it too. Yeah,
Yes,
show our
absolutely,
video.
absolutely. Thank you,
Uh,
Imani. I appreciate you.
Thank you for coming. All right.
All right now.
Then we will keep in touch.
Yes, we will. I'm about to go up here and finish cooking. I was cooking some cabbage and some,
Me too.
yeah,
That sounds good.
I can smell it right now. But
All
yeah,
right. I'll talk
thank you.
to you later.
All right.
All right.
Bye.